Please welcome Hannah Elsisi.
I feel like I'm about to perform. Joseph touched up on this is a global struggle. It is indeed. I remember a friend of mine in Tahrir called me up, and they sent 500 pizza boxes to the occupiers in Madison, Wisconsin, with solidarity messages from Cairo. But yeah, I'm gonna maybe start on Tahrir. I think yes, Tahrir is over-fetishized as the what Egypt was all about, and that is not the case. But that is where I was at, and I would love to share that experience and hopefully bring that spirit to this room. I mean, by the time I managed to get to Cairo airport, I walked out into this airport come refugee camp. Basically, it already felt like revolution. There was thousands of people in the airport, blankets and tents and sleeping, and because there was a curfew and we wouldn't be allowed out till 8 AM. And I was sat with a strange man sharing a blanket, cussing Mubarak at the top of my lungs, with airport security officials joining in. I'm telling you, 5 minutes into being there, I was only in the airport and it was already phenomenal. But yeah, we approached Tahrir to, this, it sounds horribly cheesy, but this ground-shaking cry of "Al-Sha'b yurid isqat al-nizam." The people demand regime change. And obviously, by the time I got there, it was the 30th, and things had progressed. But it was beautiful. I mean, walking in, towards Tahrir through the streets of downtown Cairo, and this just everyone was heading my way towards this centre of what had become an arena of resistance against every form of oppression, torture, poverty, and corruption that our state had become, at least over the past 30 years. Well, actually, a lot more than that. But yeah, and you see the kind of the steep learning curve that Tahrir was, because we think about Gaza, we think about Iraq, and there has been mass demonstration in Egypt, but over the past generation, this was novel, and to see how quickly people were organising in the square was absolutely beautiful to see. Beautiful. The square had kiddie corners, kitchens, hospitals. You had volunteers on the outskirts of the square, 10 checkpoints on every single exit. There's 5 exits to the square, stopping and searching every single one of the hundreds of thousands or millions of people that were entering that square to ensure that it was indeed the safest place in Egypt. I was in the square and someone handed, people were passing around water or dates or whatever food they had. And I was taking, took the last sip of this bottle of water, and I looked around me, people were just throwing bottle of waters out. So I threw the bottle of water out, and I looked around. Why did I just do that, by the way? Everyone that, if an empty bottle of water lands on your head, you throw it further out, further out, further out, until it reaches volunteers on the outer outskirts of Tahrir Square, who are filling up these bottles of water and throwing them back in, because that is the sheer expanse, a number of people that are not only in the main square, but in the square surrounding it. And to see this, people were handing in wallets and phones. I swear to God, you walk into a restaurant in Egypt, you forget your phone on the table. You haven't even gone in your car, you do not walk back to get it. It's fact. And yet there was this beautiful sense of people reclaiming this nation, changing their mannerisms for hope of something better, right? And then you have these stages where people would come up and speak, and there was literally a piece of paper where you'd write your name and you'd come up and order a line, an actual line, a queue in Egypt. And this 80-year-old woman, Camelia, I got to know later on the night of the 3rd, and Amr Musa had come to the square. I think it was on the 4th or the 5th. But anyway, he comes to the square and he's getting up on the stage to speak, obviously overriding quite a large number of people who are waiting to come up on this. And Camilla, this woman from the slums of Cairo, comes up and essentially tells this guy to fuck off in a microwave in front of a square of millions of people. This is Amr Moussa, former Minister of Interior, head of the Arab League of Nations, and currently a presidential candidate. That is revolutionary. For that woman to now find the power to overcome the fear, to tell this man that it is her turn. It is her turn. It's her turn, right? And obviously we can take that literally as well. But yeah, absolutely beautiful sentiments like that came out the square. You know, I've heard this story from John and a couple other people. How do you charge a mobile phone in Tahrir Square? Somehow, some guy basically just took a lamppost, took the wires out, lined up like 500 mobile phones on the pavement, linked them up, and they all charge, right? And again, absolutely genius. The things that came out of there, and then on the second and the third, it was almost like a referee match, right? You had, you know, thugs and you know, fleeing prisoners and low-ranking police officers that were attacking the square in a very organised way from 3 exits all at once. You know, it started off with stoning, it progressed later on, and then you had these 3 big stages with Trojan sound systems. Refereeing, we need more. You know, we need more use on this square. Women and elderly over here. Guys, medics on exit number 2. We need more stores on exit number 1. Hardy's exit. Please, we need more medics over there. We've got 60 injured, and it was, you know, that. Novel. I mean, obviously I'd never seen anything like it in my lifetime. But yeah, and you know, and they overthrew him back, and then, you know, and then Shafiq left, and Suleiman left, and all that happened. And then there was the referendum, and you know, that didn't go excellently, but it was there wasn't much doubt about the outcome, and people. 47% of our voting population came out and voted, and for the past 30 years in presidential elections, we are told that about approximately 6 to 7% come out to vote, and I mean, obviously that's debatable, but it spread out, right? This what was an umbrella under Leave, Irhan, you know, Go Mubarak. It spread out into mini revolutions in every sector of Egyptian society. I mean, I've just got a phone call from my doctor, from my mother, who is a doctor, and the doctors' salaries have just been doubled this month, to be doubled again within 2 months. They are going on strike within 2 weeks from today, and they are still at the negotiating table. The judges are on strike, on Parliament Street every day, calling for an independent judicial system. Journalists are freaking going crazy, throwing people downstairs and you know, throwing people out windows left, right and centre. You know, you look at factories in Shabina Koum, in Mahalla, in Shobra, you know, strikes of 30,000 strong workers' strikes, demanding better working conditions, better wages, and the end to whatever management they had. I know, it's overwhelming. But absolutely, I mean, it's such a life-changing experience. But yeah, and then we get back to the annoying stuff, right? So we'd all love to believe that Obama, Sarkozy, and Cameron are a bunch of socialist peaceniks. They are not. They are not out helping the Libyan people. And we should not ever fool ourselves into believing that imperialism will ever intervene to aid a revolutionary process. It doesn't happen. And you know, you look at the wording of the UN resolution, and then you look at, you know, what's happening in Syria, and you know, they'll come out and say, we won't do no military interventions at present, just sanctions, that's what we're calling for. Like another military intervention in a 4th state in the region would be viable, like seriously. But yeah, I mean, and you know, and we talk about the role of the left here as well. This is indeed a global struggle, right? And the best show of solidarity isn't, you know, obviously it isn't military interventions, but it isn't even arming the rebels or all this talk. The best show of solidarity that we can give to the people of Libya, to the people of Egypt, Tunis, Oman, Bahrain, Syria, Palestine, Iraq, the best show of solidarity that we can give is a general strike on the 30th of June. It is a demonstration of 500,000 people on the 26th of March and more to come. That is the best show of solidarity that we can give. The best thing that we can do to overthrow this global system is to overthrow our own power-mongering, war-waging, corrupt government right here. And that's where it starts. I'll leave it at that. Let's globalize the pod, guys. Let's globalize the pod. My mother always used to say, I have no doubt that the Arab world will be free, just as surely as a fallen domino is bound to topple the entire world. But I think we need to realise that there is a massive hand that is intervening in that line of dominoes, and that is the hand of imperialism. And also we need to, again, reiterate that that hand is eternally linked to capitalist policies and the austerity measures here at home. And really, we need to be out there talking to those mothers that are losing their child benefits, talking to those kids at school that may not be able to go to college because they're not getting their EMA anymore. We need to go out and talk to those college students that are going to start thinking, well, maybe uni isn't for me because it's freaking £9 grand a year. Yeah? We need to go out there and start talking to the workers in our workplaces, like Pete was saying, that are being given nappies so as not to go out for toilet breaks. We need to be going into every sector of our communities, be it the parents, the mothers, the families, the workers, the students, and the elderly, the pensions, and really communicating what's happening, what it's all about, really, and hopefully, I mean, let's gear up towards a general strike on the 30th of June. Thank you.